Hey, good morning. It's probably morning. Everybody, this is the channel where I talk about Scientology, but really I just put up pictures of my quadcopter and things like that. But lately I've been doing some parody videos of auditing the Church of Scientology, which I want to discuss today, because I think there's a few problems with it. So here we go. My background first, so you can kind of decide if you want to listen to me or not. From age 16 to 22, I was in a Pentecostal type cult. After I left, I was in touch with a Cult Awareness Network, and joined that and became a contact person for them. Went to their conferences every year for a few years. 1984, I made my first anti-Scientology flyer with the guy from Canada. The reason I got interested in Scientology is because of the Cult Awareness Network, really. They had a lot of members whose children were in Scientology, adult children. And the more I heard about Scientology, the more I became concerned about it because it was much worse than the group I had been in. And then they were encouraging me to, the family members, to become an activist in that area. So I started reading a lot of Scientology stuff. 1994, got on the internet and got connected to alt.religion.scientology, which was a news group, just a feed, a chat feed, basically, where there'd be somebody talk and then next person, next person, next person. It's live and great anarchy, kind of craziness. There were Scientologists in there, ex-Scientologists, and now we know some people pretending to be critics, and the Scientologists in there trying to just muck up the news group. So, what I want to talk today about is, okay, well, let me continue with myself first. Then I got 95, we started to think that maybe we should be protesting the Church of Scientology because they were attacking alt religion Scientology, trying to close it down. Now, that's a free speech issue. If an organization can close down a news group that they don't like because they're talking bad about them, then free speech on the internet is basically dead. So that was the beginnings of the internet and the beginnings of us trying to save free speech on the internet. So we went out on the street and started protesting the Church of Scientology, not saying, about how bad Scientology is, but just leave the internet alone, and that's what we were doing. That's how the protest against Scientology started in the 90s. There had been protests before that, but I didn't know much about them and I wasn't involved. So, 96 on, we did annual protests in Clearwater that I helped organize. And in 2000, I joined the Lisa McPherson Trust as the librarian. 2008, I was in college going back for a second degree, and I got 3 hours of credit for researching Anonymous. Anonymous came and started protesting the Church of Scientology in 2008. So, and I was a participant observer of that, and which I love. Anonymous is like the gold standard if you want to know how to protest Scientology, to my mind. Uh, so that's my background, in case you were wondering. Now, auditing versus protesting. Um, the current uh, activism against the Church of Scientology started in 2023, kind of late, I think, by a guy who was a cop watch person. Now, auditing, as I understand it, which I'm no expert on, is where you go to keep an eye on some group that you think is going to be doing the wrong things. So cop watch is you go and watch the cops because you assume they're going to be doing something wrong and you want to record that they're doing that to give evidence that the cops are doing bad things. So then it flips over to uh, Scientology, and you're auditing Scientology means you're hanging out at Scientology properties, trying to see if they're doing something wrong, and you're recording it, live streaming a lot of times, or at least recording it in case they do something wrong. Now, Some of the first people that were doing the auditing were already live streamers, content providers on different groups, what YouTube, I think TikTok. I've never been on TikTok, so I don't know that, but different platforms and content creators thinking, hey, maybe if we go over to Scientology, as this guy is telling us, that'll be interesting. Now, okay. Scientology does crazy things all the time. So if you're a content provider and you're going to be watching Scientology, you're going to see some weird stuff. Okay. So there's been, at the time, 2023, since they started this auditing, there's been lots of crazy stuff, swatting, arrests, Scientology just doing wacko things to get people to stop the auditing. They're putting up barriers all around their properties. So on and on it goes. And it's Scientology shoots themselves in the foot because that's what the content creators want, is interesting content, right? So, okay, you're now you got a bunch of people auditing Scientology, getting a lot of interesting content. There's other people come in, ex-members came in to I think kind of protest really, but so this built. It's kind of, I think it's sort of dying now. I'm in July of 24, but it's still going on. Protesting, which they say they're doing sometimes, is where an organization, a group of people, an organized group of people, has a beef with some organization or group or person, and they want to communicate that disagreement to the public and to that organization. Okay, so you're going to be going in front of that organization because that's who you're against, and you're going to have signs that say what's wrong and trying to communicate to the public about what's wrong and to the organization that they have critics who are willing to go out and speak against them. That's main thing. So protesting is trying to communicate. Auditing is trying to record or catch errors by the organization. So you can see it's two totally different things, really. Now I'm going to give some video examples of the current auditing, and then we'll go from there. First, let me say, I'm trying not to make this a very long video, but so I'll just tell you exactly what I'm trying to get to in this is kindness. If you want to reach Scientologists, choose kindness. And that's the goal of this video, is to show you that. Gandhi had stated, the simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. That's Gandhi's pretty good guy to learn peaceful protesting from, and that's his opinion. So, okay, this is just a montage of different protests that have been going, no, not protests, auditing that's been going on, and we'll come back after we watch this montage.
Yeah, lock it up! Pack it up! Bye! Child traffickers! Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not all up on all of Scientology. I know some stuff.
Sure.
But I don't know a lot. And I've been hearing a lot about the child trafficking. I haven't said anything because I'm not up on it. And
Sure.
I don't understand why. What does that mean?
So let me give you a specific example. So
people can
yeah.
hear you.
So at Literally Surge on YouTube.
At Literally Surge.
He tells his story. His grandmother was at this exact location. So he was born in, when he was 5 years old. Look at that proud child traffickers. Oh, look at you guys. Look at these child traffickers. Bunch of creepy idiots. Look how happy they are to be child traffickers, you guys. Look how happy they are to be child traffickers. Not in any way embarrassed. Shame! Shame!
Oh boy. You gotta go that way. Yeah, okay.
I gotta talk to somebody. I'm not going in there. Oh, I need a word.
here right fucking now.
Scientology's a cult. We can help you leave. We can help you leave. You don't have to believe in Xenu. Have a good day in cult. Do you have the clear cog? When was the last time you did something fun on the weekend instead of coming to cult? When was the last time you went to the coast or met up with a family member? There are organizations that can help you out of this cult. We can help you, ma'am. Lying on the sofa. No, don't go into the cult. Do you need the clear cognition? I can give it to you. You already got it? So you know about Xenu? Are you on the upper levels? That guy really didn't look like a Sciento, guys, but he was. He kept looking at me too, like, oh shit. I haven't seen you at cult in a while. Do you have the clear cog yet? I have been mocking up my own reactive mind and I'm not doing it anymore. There, I saved you thousands of dollars.
Wow. I see more coming from the corner of my eye. Freeloader debt is not enforceable in the real world. You guys have a warm bed waiting for you in a whole community, ready for whatever you need to get out of this place. You do not have to be separated from your family. Google SPTV and email them. They just went through the alley. Hey man, another day. Call the SPTV Foundation. They can help you get out of here. Whatever you need. Let's give them some space. Woo. Hello, sir. You don't have to be stuck in here for the rest of your life. Contact the SPTV Foundation. The freeloader debt is not enforceable. You have a way out of here. There is a whole community waiting for you. You all can escape this place. Contact the SPTV. Whatever you need, there's a warm bed waiting for you all. Freeloader debt is not enforceable. I like your hair, by the way. She has a nice haircut. Contact the SPTV Foundation. You can escape the cult of Scientology.
Oh, we've got a Scientologist coming out and then a Scientologist returning, or at least trying to return. Got the doors open here. Shades open. We've got one staff member there, right in the vest down there. The two org people chatting with one another down there, and let's see if we can. So we don't have Anastasia again. I wonder if Anastasia's been moved off or moved around. But we definitely have a couple people here over in the cafeteria. Asaka here. Oh, she got lucky. She got the door, so she didn't have to walk past me. She is going to help do the blinds. She's smiling, but she's smiling and talking to the person on the phone with her. Isn't it interesting that as a church you have to hide from the public? Maybe you're not a church if you have to hide from the public. But get your culty on. So my body router is coming back to the org right now. She's got 2 people in tow. I'm not really worried about this guy. He's, I'm going to say the guy in front. Audi, anything to share about the church today? No, nothing? We're not allowed to really talk about the church? Does the church let you talk about the church? Isn't that strange? It's a cult. So by the way, you're going into Scientology. They're a human trafficking cult. Don't give them your real name and address. Don't give them your real name and address.
Oh, we're gonna go get our graduation diplomas tonight, y'all. We graduating. We graduating. But thanks for being here, Lydia. Safe travels, happy space travel. Oh, here they come in my way. They didn't see me in time. They didn't have time to divert. Safe journey, happy space travelers. Safe journey. Safe journey, happy space travelers. Safe journeys. SPTVFoundation.org will help you get out. SPTVFoundation.org. Committed to memory. And there's the off-duty security. It's all about the money, honey, not about the crime. It's all about the money, honey, not about the crime. It's all about the money, honey, not about the crime. Would you like to join a cult today, sir? We've got one right here. They need you. They're shrinking before their very eyes. Would you like to join a cult today? Would anybody like to, you want to join a cult? We've got one right here. Say it again, louder. Safe journey, happy space travelers.
So that's auditing. Examples from around the country. Those are all different places. I'll put a list on the below here. And just wanted to know the reaction to that would be, to me, it's human nature 101. Okay. Every human being does not like being yelled at, ridiculed, looked down upon, that kind of thing. And it's also human nature 101 that everybody likes kindness, to be shown dignity and friendliness. So there's your quandary. You can do auditing different ways, of course, and I'm going to contend in this video that there's good ways and bad ways to do auditing. And the thing that should be kept in mind is, how are the Scientologists viewing you? Not how good do you think you're doing. I'm sure all the auditors are trying to do well. They're trying to help Scientologists get out, are trying to close down the horrible things that Scientology does. Absolutely. But I just think that there's good ways and bad ways of doing this. Okay. So now let's listen to some ex-Scientologists and see what their views are on what our topic is today. First is Jenna Miscavige. Jenna was a mid-level staff in the Sea Org for a while. She is related to the head of Scientology right now. And this is one video that she did recently.
So as far as if there's anything that someone could have said to me, I actually remember this one incident when I was sitting in front of the Hollywood Guarantee building, which is the Scientology building on Hollywood Boulevard, where the L. Ron Hubbard Life Exhibition is. And I was actually, I was about 17 years old, and I was cleaning one of the stars in front of one of the Hollywood stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I was cleaning the ones in front of the L. Ron Hubbard Life Exhibition with Brasso. Me and my friend were sitting there cleaning it. And that's something that we did every Saturday. We had this whole project to clean all of the rooms in the building. It was called, or to do fix-ups or things like that. It was called Saturday renovations. And so as a part of this, we would clean the L. Ron Hubbard Life Exhibition, including the area in front of it, sweeping and cleaning the stars. And so and as I was sitting there cleaning, I was just like sitting on the ground scrubbing it. This gal walked by, not a Scientologist, and she said, "Hey, you can do much better than this." And she said, "You can make real money, and where you don't have to be sitting here doing this every day." And then she gave me her card, and I think it was like a modeling thing, which obviously she didn't know how short I was because I was sitting on the ground. But it was just like she talked to me like I was a person, and she was like, gave me a way of reaching her. And I just remember, like, at that moment when she said that, I wasn't like, oh, she's crazy, oh, she's a jerk. It was like, she talked to me like I was a real person, and so it made me feel like she was a real person. And she also gave me, she said something kind of nice, which is like, you can do much better than this. You don't have to be doing this. Like, she empathized with me. And I don't know, that just kind of made me think like, oh, maybe if I just called this number, she would honestly help me. I don't know, it was just something like that that made me think. So yeah, I guess the answer to the question, is there anything you think you could say to a Sea Org member that might make them stop and think, yep, this sucks, I'm in a cult? I think the answer to that is probably something along the lines of, hey, if you want to leave, there's a warm bed for you, and lots of people care about you, and you don't have to get yelled at every day. Just something that is empathetic, and that's like, we're here to help you. And I know you think that you're the only one who thinks these thoughts or questioning Scientology, but you're not. There's lots of other people. I just think that something like that, if it was said directly to me, it would make me, it would make me be like, okay, this person isn't a psycho, and they're nice, and maybe people in the outside world are nice.
Okay, Jenna said elsewhere, which I can't find the video, of another situation where she had been left in a kind of a remote place and needed to transportation to get back. So there was hardly anybody around, so she asked an evil outsider for help, and this I think it was a couple just said, "Sure, yeah, we'll help you," and they helped her, and they were nice to her, and that stuck with her to this day. So kindness sticks in your head. Being kind. Okay. The next person we're going to talk with or see about is Patty Moore, who had been in Scientology working with OSA, Office of Special Affairs, the Dirty Tricks Department of Scientology. And she's going to talk a little bit about this on Liam's program. So here we go.
And as much as I don't want to go on to all the drama that's going on at the moment, I'm trying to avoid it like a plague. I am interested, seeing as you are an OG protester from the anonymous days. What do you personally think of the current round of protests? Because for me, I find I'll be honest, I have watched some of them, and I'm just like, How is that going to get somebody out of Scientology if you're doing exactly what Scientology are doing by shouting in the face?
Yeah, it's sad. It makes me sad. It makes me mad, but mostly sad because, yelling at science. First of all, I don't care what anybody says. Being mean to anybody on any subject does not change their mind. It just doesn't. I don't care what it is. You can't yell at people and call them morons and say stupid stuff like you're in a cult or whatever. And you're thinking, oh yeah, they're going to wake up right away. They're going to go, yeah, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm in a cult. No, it takes some finesse, and it takes understand. If you understand Scientology, you can ask the right questions. Like you could say something like, why is it you can't read stuff on the internet if you're an OT? Like if you're an OT and you've done your PTSSP course and you can confront and shatter suppression, why aren't you allowed on the internet? Just maybe think about that. Or why is it, are you afraid of Scientology? Do they make you sometimes fearful of what could happen if you don't follow the rules? Like, what kind of religion makes you afraid? What are you doing? And just simple stuff like that. Just like asking, just think about it. Just think about things that don't make sense like that. Like, why this and how come that? Instead of like, do you know that Scientology does? Do you know that David Miscavige beats his staff? No, that's bullshit. They don't. You can't even go there. That's not really. They're not even near that point. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, the anonymous thing again made it fun. Just really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
So again, it's be nice. I mean, if you want to influence people in Scientology, be nice. They don't expect it. It's totally against their training, against L. Ron Hubbard's teachings, that all outsiders are controlled by psychiatrists and don't have a clue about what life is about. Disabuse them of that belief. That's my goal for this video, is to show you to do that. Okay, so now let's go to Tori Chrisman. Most people probably watching this know her name. She's an ex-Scientologist, had been in for about 30 years as a public, but she also worked some dirty trick stuff on alt-religion Scientology. And before this, she had been at a protest I was at when she was a Scientologist. And in that protest, she was trying to handle us. She had an encounter with one of the protesters. I didn't see this, didn't know anything about it. But one of the protesters just said, "Can I ask you a question?" to Tori. And he says, why can't you just read anything you want to read? And to this day, 2024, that's stuck in Tori's head. It was a guy asking a nice question, simple question. He really wanted to know the answer. And it made some cognitive dissonance in Tori's mind. So here's Tori.
And I would copy it and paste it. And in between it, they had all these arrows. So it would be like, you say something, bunch of arrows, and then I say something. And that's how you could tell the difference in who's talking. But I didn't know that. And I thought, oh, who needs all these stupid arrows? So I'd erase them, right? And then I'd hit post. And so Andreas came on, sent me an email and said, Magoo, nobody can understand. And I was like, Andreas? The guy from Xenu.net? I had seen his website. I was like, this guy's the devil. That's it. And so he comes on and he goes, Magoo, nobody can understand what you're saying because you are not formatting what you say. And I didn't know what formatting was. So I told him that. I said, I don't even know what it is. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I thought, the devil is going to teach me how to do it. And he does. He teaches me. It works. It's totally different. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it was such a stunning thing for me. And he had his little blue email thing up in the corner. Well, it was really over here. He had a little blue thing for his email. And I thought, my mother always raised this, if somebody helps you, send them a thank you note. And I've done that for years in my life. I mean, and I just grew up that way. So I thought, I really got to thank him. And he really helped me. So I send a little, I click on the blue thing. I mean, this is monumental in Scientology. You know, it's like, now I'm sending a message to an SP, and not just an SP. He's like the devil of the universe for me. That's how I see him. But I just clicked on it and I put, Dear Andreas, thank you for helping me, Magoo. That's it. And I hit send. And I get this thing back. Dear Magoo, you're welcome. Best wishes, Andreas Heldeland. And he has his entire address, his entire phone number, his cell phone number, his email, everything. I mean, he's like completely transparent. And I'm coming from this world of don't tell him, don't even say your name. You're not Tori, you're Katie now, and I'm Jack, and all this shit. It's just sort of like it was a zoo. And I was just like, oh my God. So it was incredible when Andreas helped me. I thanked him. He had the address. So then I thought, I think maybe I could talk to this guy. So I write him and I say, Andreas, why do you have up all this stuff about my religion? And he says, Dear Magoo, I believe in truth. I believe in looking at both sides, and I have the courage to say what I think. I don't think Scientologists are bad. I just think they're misinformed. I suggest you start reading. Now, I had not read anything on ARS, nothing, and theta, which is what they call it, which is interpolative theta or spirit. It's just sort of like, it's such a way to stop things. So I hadn't read anything. So now I think, okay, I'll read something. So I go look, and they're all like titles, right? And one of them is women. It was from the Tabioians. Mary Tabioian? Yeah, that was her name. And it says, ladies, if you're thinking of joining the Sea Org, read this, which remember, I always wanted to go back in the Sea Org. So I'm still thinking I'm going to do it. And so I click on it thinking it's going to be some cool stuff. And it's all about enforced abortions. That she got pregnant, and they made her get an abortion. And she describes the whole thing. And then they made her go back on post the next day.
Okay, that was Tori talking about Andreas Haldal Lund, who was one of the first people that had an internet website about Scientology called Xenu.net. It's still up. And as she says in here, she thought he was like the devil because he was one of the most active critics of Scientology at the time. And yet, he treated her nicely. And look what happened. So that's my whole point of this video is think of how the Scientologists in there, where you are, think of you. Do they look out and see the world is a nicer place than where I am? I'm in here getting yelled at all the time, getting sent to the RPF. All these bad things are going on. And I look outside and I go, I wonder, the outside world might be a better place, And you see people yelling at you, crazy things that you don't even know what they're saying. It's like they're just yelling weirdness, That's even worse. Or staring at you, or coming around every day to like harass you. The outside world doesn't look all that good, right? So now, so what I'm trying to do is say, be nice to Scientologists. Now, how can you put yourself in a situation where that can happen? That is a problem. And that is where I wish like Gandhi was around, because he was a genius figuring out how to create such situations. Scientology puts roadblocks between you and the Scientologist, you as a critic and the Scientologist. That's very difficult to cross. I'm not here to give, ideas about that on this video. I'm trying to keep it short, but that is what you should be thinking about. When those people look out and look at you, do they see an outside world that interests them? Do they? That's what you have to answer. Also, I'm more of a promoter of protesting than auditing. There's advantages to having people out there keeping an eye on Scientology, but there are ways to do such things where you are making things worse. It's not like you can just say, well, everybody's just doing their own thing, their own way. There's no problem so long as we're out here trying to get rid of Scientology. No, there's ways you can do things wrong, right? You can cook a steak until it's black charcoal, it's inedible, and that's cooking, but the end result is something you have to throw away. And same on protesting or auditing. You can do it in such a way where you're making things worse. And that, I hope, does not happen. Please do not do that. Use kindness, niceness, dignity for these people, because sooner or later, some of them are going to come out and be another Tory, Chrisman, Magoo, or Jenna, or all these ex-members who are doing good in society. That's what you want. And I hope you help do that in a good way. Thank you.